If you're seeing this video, you most likely found our December newsletter and scanned the QR code. So you've seen that our topic this month is about low back resiliency, because as you know, in a couple weeks here, we're going to be expecting more snow, especially as we get into late December, early January. We're going to start seeing snowfall, and not just light fluffy stuff. There's going to be that heavy, slushy, rainy, dense snow. And what I see every year is people complaining of this pain in their low back here, just from having to pick that up, twist and throw, twist and throw, twist and throw, repeating the same motion over and over again. And I get asked all the time, what can I do to help this? And oftentimes there's a lot of different answers. We can look at hip mobility, we can look at the mobility of the low back, the middle back, we can look at lifting mechanics, but what I have found most often is that we just don't do the motion enough. We're not shoveling year round. So of course, when we go out and have to shovel multiple times a day for multiple days a week, it's going to be aggravating, it's going to be a little sore. So what I have found best is, how can we make our backs more resilient? How can we make them stronger so that when this time comes around, it's not that big of a deal for our back? So what I'm bringing to you today, we're going to be using a weighted ball. You don't need to. If you're doing this at home, if you see this at home, this can be pillows, this can be your pet dog, it can be whatever you want, okay? But we're going to work on a low back CAR, which stands for controlled articular rotation, which just means we're keeping this motion nice and controlled to the back. The hips are going to be nice and still. We're going to get some movement from the upper spine, just because as we move the low back, things are going to move up there as well. But we're going to limit that with this ball here, okay? Or a pillow, or your dog, whatever you want. So what I'm doing is I'm giving this ball a really big hug, just like this, so that it's locking out my upper back. And then what I'm going to do from here is focus on moving through this part of my back here. So as I begin, I'll show you from a couple of different angles here. From the front, what this looks like is keeping the hips still. I don't want my hips going with me. I don't want them moving all around here. I want just the low back to be moving for the most part here. So what we want to imagine here is, we want to imagine as I hug this ball, or you're hugging a pillow at home or a pet or whatever it may be, when I wrap this around, I imagine that I'm holding a marker right up in front here, and that I'm going to try to draw the biggest circle I can, okay? So what this looks like, and I can even hold this orange marker, I'm going to imagine that I'm drawing the biggest circle possible here, okay? So as I start, I get my wide stance to keep my hips still. I hug the ball nice and tight. Now I'm going to draw a big circle with this marker. So I start by going down, and I'm going to bring that around as much as I can. And connect right back down at the bottom. Okay? And then we can go back in reverse the other way as well here. Starting here, drawing a nice big circle. Just like that. What this looks like from the side here, hip stable, bend in the back, big circle. And you want to make sure that you're doing this in both directions to make sure we're working the muscles and the joints on both sides here, okay? This is going to help you build a more resilient back, so we're not getting those aches and pains while we're out there shoveling this season.